Okay, people, so yes, our film today, right, is Little Amélie, or the character of Rain. And yo, this lovely little film. Okay, so it is directed by Maïlys Vallade and Poi Han Jinkao. So they co-direct. They also write the film along with Aude Py and Eddine Noël. The film is produced by Claire Lacombe, Edwina Liad, Henri Magalon, Nydia Santiago, Stephanie Shah, and Michael Sinton-Nicholas. We have Mari Fukuhara on our score. Ludwig Versace edits the piece. Right, Celine Rantan and Stephanie Shah of all the casting. All right, so we then have got Eddine Noël. She also does production design, as well as art direction. So then we have got okay, so Aurorian Labous is the third assistant director. First assistant director is Laetitia Coryn, and the voice director was Michael Sinton-Nicholas as well. He handled that too. Okay, so production management, we have Sophie Koutaz, Angelili Kunapanini, Alejandra Lopez, Diane Mosquite, and Xavier Parisi. Then, our storyboard artists, right? I mean, well, all the artists just, there's a lot of artists involved, obviously, right? So we have got Lin Choi Han Jinkao, right? And Maïlys Vallade, along with Lucrece André, Alice Bissonnette, David Canvali, Moan Chaban, Remy Chai, Olivia Claret, Simone Dumaku, Elia Gubmavelek, Philbert Justine, Armand Nasri, Chloe Nicolal, Jonathan Dajab Nonkond, Eddine Noël, Nicholas Pawlowski, Alexander Petresky, Maretia Wren, Marion Roussel. So they took care of, character designs, boards, graphic design, just all of that jazz. You know what I mean? So, we have Steph on visual effects. She supervised that. Our animators, right? We have got Guillermo Biceres, Theo Boubonnel, Auriel Brun, Remy Chai, Diane Coute, Jodie Doucette, Cornette, Laurie Escadalfals, Han Galvez, Felicia Gilbert, Andrea Gilly, Pascal Herbertou, Nima, Jocelyn Ronzi, and Marianne Russell. Right, so our voice cast. Now, there is a French voice cast and an English voice cast, you know? So the casting people, man, they, you know what I mean? They had to find both lots. So there's a lot in that, right? So I'm just going to go through the English voice cast because that's the one that I did. So Lily Gilliam narrates the film as, right? And Lucille Ainsworth does Amélie's dialogue within the film itself. Okay, so we have got Brent Mukai is Patrick, right? Amélie's father. Brent also voices the radio announcer. Jessica DiSalvo is Danielle, Amélie's mother. We have got Avril Kagan as Juliet, Amélie's sister, and Andre, Amélie's brother, is voiced by Rhodes Carroll. Okay, so then we have got Claude, right, Amélie's grandmother, voiced by Jayne Taini. We have got Nishio-san, voiced by Francesca Calo. Nishio-san's grandmother, Kashima-san, voiced by Paige Long. So yeah, that was our English cast. You know what? I'm gonna do the French one as well because you know what I mean. Yeah, they should have props. So Louise Carpentier is Amélie the narrator, and Emmylou Homs is Amélie within the film. Right? We have Patrick, her father, voiced by Marc Arnaud, and Danielle, her mother, voiced by Laetitia Coryn. Juliette, her sister, is voiced by Haylee Issembourg, and her brother Andre, voiced by Isaac Schoumsky. We have got her grandmother Claude, voiced by Cathy Cerdà, Kashima-san, voiced by Yumi Fujimori, and Nishio-san, voiced by Victoria Grosbois. The doctor and radio voice is Francisco Razon. Doki. Oh, and the doctor actually in the English version is voiced by Michael C. Pizzuto. Right, so that is our casts and the gist of the film. Okay, so it is this. Amélie, a Belgian child in Japan, explores life with her companion Nishio-san. Her third birthday becomes a turning point, marking the beginning of her understanding of the world. So that is the film. And man, mad props to Robin Dean, you know what I mean, who put this all together, right? And oh man, I was so happy, right, that there was an English dub, because man, we don't usually get English dubs, you know? So there's a lot of great films that I'm not able to see, right? Just because it's so hard following the subtitles, you know what I mean? Especially when people talk fast. And then you've got the color contrast and everything, and I just cannot track, right? So this was fantastic that it was there. Now, this is based on, right? It's an adaptation of Amélie Nothomb's book, right? Her memoir, The Character of Rain. Okay, so Amélie, she actually, right, this is, based on her childhood. She's Belgium, and she grew up in Japan, right? She spent a period of time in Japan. So that's what this is. That's what this captures. And it is, it's a joy. It's a joy, right? Because I think what they're able to do, and I will say this as well, right? So Maïlys and Liane-Cho, this is their feature directorial debut. I mean, this is the first thing. So they've I think it might be the first thing they've written as well. So they're animators, right? They brought to life so many wonderful things, right? They worked on The Little Prince, but they've worked on things, and a lot of things together, like Calamity, Leap, Long Way North, you know what I mean? They Asterix and a lot more. That's what they've done. Right, but this is their directorial debut, and their style of storytelling, oh man, it's transfixing. Right now, when you look at it, it's kind of got the feel of watercolor, but with like a Hessian glow to it all. Right, there's just this, oh man, intoxicating aura about the animation. And then the story itself, right? The story itself is just, it's perfectly, captured, right? Because it has the precociousness of a child, right? It's there. It's all infused with that. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I tell you that. I do not remember being 3. I do not remember being 2, 2.5, any of those things, right? There's people that say they do. I don't know if they do. You know what I mean? I think a lot of it is secondhand information, right? It's superimposed memories, because people tell you, oh, when you were a baby, you enjoyed doing this. Oh, you liked doing that. So then it's just like you get these kind of weird transplanted memories, and you're like, oh, man, I remember, and I used to do. And it's just like, because you've been told these things so often, right? But you might not remember, right? But there are these weird echoes, these weird echoes of youth, oftentimes, where you get hit by these emotions, right? Like, it's kind of like digging up an old bomb from the World War I or II, right? And it's to be careful with that. Don't know what's gonna happen, and suddenly it might explode, and you just get hit by this, sound wave of an emotional resonance. And it's just like, yo, man, I remember being really scared of thunder, or, these kind of things hit you. And so, not remembering those years, but I can definitely remember those resonances, right? That feeling of discovery, right? That feeling of I must be the first person to have this thought or see this thing. You come in and you tell people, oh my God, the sun just, right? And they're like, yes, it's a sunset. And you're like, but you didn't know that. I've just discovered this thing, right? And you know what I mean? It's silly, right? You're like, obviously these things have happened before you, but yeah, there is that kind of thought of godliness, right? That's the thing. I mean, you think she's God at the beginning because all of these things happen, like running through the garden and be like, open. And suddenly all the flowers open, but it's just like, that's not you. That's just nature, right? That's just, flowers open at this point, right? That's what happens. But you think, oh, look at what I have done. Oh, these hands are so powerful. Right? And that's what it is. And this captures all of that. Right? Captures all of that. Right? These weird whims. Right? When Amelia's crying and the thing that stops her is white chocolate. Which I don't understand why white chocolate is called white chocolate. Because there's no cocoa in it, right? So in essence, it's not chocolate. There's no cocoa. So it's just like, chocolate alternative. that's what it is. It's not chocolate. Stop that shit. But I guess because white chocolate is mad sweet, so it does kind of track that possibly a little kid. I mean, a little kid, you ain't gonna give a little kid like dark chocolate, right? You'd be like, oh, what the fuck have you just done? Right? So yeah, but it's those weird things on women, like. The world is over, you're crying your eyes out, and then just this little thing just stops, and suddenly you're acting like you've never cried in your life. You know what I mean? It's just like, why is everyone looking at me? This is just ridiculous. I did nothing. Like, carry on with your day, peasants, right? And there's just a joy in it. Right, just that relationship with Nishio-san is just beautiful, and the way like everyone is, it's like her brother and sister are a bit like and then she says their names, and she's like, oh yeah, she said my name, and it all changes, right? It all changes that now. There is this bond, right? She was this irritating crying thing, but now it's just like all love and just all of that, right? So just all of things of just really well done, right? And there is this undercurrent of discovery, right? Loss and love and relationships. The first time she realizes what death is. And you're trying to explain it and be like, oh, when people live a full life, and then it's just like, but young people die. And then it's just like, fuck. Right? Like, ugh. Now I'm going to have to try and think of another explanation for this thing that makes no sense whatsoever. Right? So it's just like, right? All of those things, all of those benchmarks, those, you know what I mean? Foundations of youth are just perfectly brought to life, right? In this playful but magical way, It's when you kind of remember way back to things like Will-O-the-Wisp that had that ethereal look to them. This has got its own distinct language. Right, its own distinct language, which really taps into the DNA of youth, right? The DNA of childhood, right? It's all there. It's all there. And so you just think, man, this is something that can work for adults. And you know, it will, like, kids will be, you know, just mesmerized by it. So just what a wonderful thing for your directorial debut, that you have been able to imbue something with so much passion and joy and just character, you know? It's wonderful, people. So, you know, definitely, if you can, get to your local multiplex, your little indie cinema, and just enjoy this. I do believe that in the cinema there will be the dubbed and there will be the subbed versions playing, but yeah, it's one of those things where I imagine there might not be as many dubbed versions, but yeah, just keep your eyes out, because this is just a wonderful tale, people. It really is, and it will just bring warmth to your heart. However cold or full it is, this film will definitely awaken things you didn't know were there. So people, go check it out. Little Amélie, or the character of rain.